Inappropriate fan behavior disrupts contests and tarnishes the spectator experience. In worst cases, it leaves students and fans severely injured and costs institutions and communities thousands in cleanup and restoration dollars. The NCAA Sportsmanship Report, 2003.
I graduated undergraduate at the University of the Pacific in Stockton, California, and was fortunate to be accepted into graduate program at Oregon State University, where I received my PhD. We decided with our young family, 2 girls, that we'd go to an away football game at a university I will not mention in California because after all these years, I have forgiven them. But that night will live forever in my children and my wife's mind. We sat there watching our team get drubbed when my wife went to get some lemonade. Standing in the line, someone said, "I could stick a knife in your back and kill you right now, and nobody'd even care." She came back rather flustered to her seat. My daughter was 15 years old, and one of the fans in the stadium said, because we're Beaver fans and we take a lot of heat for that, it is something you can use to make funny lines, but somebody yelled at my daughter, "Why don't you bring your beaver over here and we'll get it wet for you?" Now her 15-year-old boyfriend and I stood up, but 30 drunk guys stood up, and I turned to him and I said, "Son, I could probably take 8 or 9 of them because I'm so damn mad, and you could get 4 or 5, but that'll leave 15 guys to kick us while we're down. We're gonna sit down and we're gonna hear about it." Little kids had their toys stolen from them and the heads pulled off of the little beavers their parents had given them. It was a terrible, terrible event. And I decided that the pen was mightier than the sword, and I wrote a book called Fan Etiquette about it. And I proposed in Fan Etiquette that we realize that we need to be good sports. The NCAA has recognized this problem and has put together a commission on this twice. Coaches now are receiving death threats and threats against their family and retiring early. Referees now are trained as part of their training program, not only to recognize a penalty, but how to cover themselves up in the case that they're beaten or attacked by an unruly crowd. It needs to stop. It needs to be practiced every day, good sportsmanship and fan etiquette, unless we want to have stadiums filled with 30 to 50-year-old drunk guys and nobody else will go. It has to change. I want you to be a good sport. Read the chapter, realize that the young men and women on your opponent's team are somebody's sons and daughters, brothers and sisters like yours at home. Understand that if you yell to the other team, "You suck, go home," and they do, the game's over and you're watching practice. If somebody yells at you, "Sit down and shut up," that means that you're using your mouth too much and not using your buttocks enough, and you should close this and use this. Read the chapter, make sure that you're a great fan, you cheer on your team, but let the abuse and the indignities and the foul language and the obscenities go. Otherwise, it's not going to be fun for anybody, and treat the other team like you hope your team is treated when they go to their stadium.
To learn more about sport, sportsmanship, and their impact on society, check out the following: the National Collegiate Athletic Association, www.ncaa.org, the Center for Study of Sport and Society, www.sportandsociety.org, the National Association of Intercollegiate Athletics, www.naia.org, the Josephson Institute of Ethics, www.josephsoninstitute.org, or the National Intramural Recreational Sports Association, www.nirsa.org.